I thank God that I was raised in a big, fun, creative, Christian-loving family led by two wonderful parents. I loved growing up with 5 siblings. I always thought that 5 was the perfect family. I want to share a few memories that I felt showed how Mom is a Proverbs 31 woman. The last chapter in the book of Proverbs is a tribute to a wise woman, wife, and mother of noble character. I am proud to read several of these passages that reflect Mom. Just like in Proverbs, Mom cared for her husband, her family, and the needy. Those who knew her admired her for her abilities, generosity, and character. She was a wise woman of faith who knew that God was with her and her family. Proverbs 31, verse 20. It says, "She reaches out to the poor and extends mercy to those in need." Mom showed us how important it is to help others. Very likely, my all-time favorite Christmas was when we found the Christmas wish list in the little town newspaper from a needy family with many children. Mom led us as we gathered up their simple requests from the list. On Christmas Eve, we packed it all into our car and left the gifts to surprise them on their porch. When I saw one of the girls at school wearing some of the dresses that I had given, it was so rewarding. Mom had really taught me a valuable lesson. Mom was charitable in many other ways too, but one thing that stands out to me is if you ever complimented her on anything that she owned, she would try to give it to you. She loved to give. Verse 25. She is clothed in strength and dignity. With nothing to fear, she smiles when she thinks about the future. As we all know, Mom's life started as a foster child. At a very young age, she traveled by train from New York to Illinois alone with her sister. She lived a while at her grandparents' farm and later spent time in an orphanage. She certainly could have struggled with rejection, but she was clothed in strength and dignity. She rose above her circumstances as a bright and shining young lady. In Mom's quest to connect with her family, she spent years intensively studying our family genealogy. This gave her such pride as she discovered that she came from a royal bloodline, including our nation's founding fathers and even famous writers. And of course she did find her family too. In this verse also it mentions how a Proverbs woman smiles. Even when we were laughing at her silliness, Mom would join along. As children, we would sing a song just to see how long it would take her before she started whistling the tune. It would make us laugh as she would immediately fall for our jokes. I'll never forget the time that we told Mom that the cherry 7-Up was wine. She just insisted that her nose was going numb as she was drinking alcohol. Mom always laughed along. Anytime she could spread happiness, she did. Verse 26. When she speaks, her words are wise and she gives instructions with kindness. Mom did this by teaching us to put others ahead of ourselves. I believe that I inherited her intuitiveness. I saw how she took care to be aware of others' needs in every situation. She cared about the rejected, neglected, and overlooked, perhaps because she knew how it felt. A sweet memory of her teaching us kindness was when we still lived in Abingdon. It was May Day. I remember that she taught us to weave paper May baskets. We would fill them with violets and lily-of-the-valley flowers that we picked from our yard. There was an older neighbor a few houses down who I was probably afraid of. Mom had us make him a basket to brighten his day. We put it on his porch, rang the doorbell, and ran. She taught us by being our example and showing us how to care for the overlooked. Verse 27, she carefully watches over everything in the household. Her eyes were fixed on our family as her first priority. Mom embraced the powerful role she played in our home. As I read this verse, another elementary school memory comes to mind. We lived a few blocks away from the school, and I remember a day that I desperately needed to go home at lunchtime. Even though she wasn't expecting me, I was secure in knowing if I showed up, Mom would be there to lovingly take care of my needs. Proverbs 31:28. She is a godly woman, deserving of the praise of her children, her husband, and the community. Her family and others praise her, and she benefits all those around her by the gentle and helpful things she says. After we lost Mom, many stories and tributes came in from those who loved her. The reach of her influence was far greater than I realized. Mom stayed close to everyone who had been a part of her life from high school forward. I read many stories from those whom Mom had discreetly helped through their hard times. So many people admired her and sang her praises. They loved her positive attitude, infectious laughter, creativity, faith, love, hugs, and how she could brighten any room. We all knew that Mom was called Sunshine and Chatterbox when she was a child. She managed to keep that spirit alive over her long life. When I was in Auburn and went to church with Mom and Dad and Alan, Mom picked up some little white cards from the lobby. She showed me that they had God's plan of salvation on them. Mom had been faithfully sharing them with people whenever she could. She said to me, I want as many people to go to heaven with me as I can take. Today we sing her praises for leaving a legacy of faith. I am so proud of you, Mom, and grateful for your strong belief system. Surely you have met many in heaven who wouldn't be there if it wasn't for you. Well done, good and faithful servant. We love you and we miss you so much. We look forward to our heavenly reunion.